What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to MKE MANIACI. And today we got WrestleMania's 10 WWE wrestlers who instantly gave away their match finish before the bell rang. Highly specific title right there, man. Now this video actually just dropped, so I figured why not just check it out, man. Now listen, if you're an overcritical type of fan like myself, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us, we notice little things in a match, and we kind of pointed out, like a lot of times, man, I can kind of tell the ending of the match before the end of the match even happens, especially in today's product, 9 times out of 10, interference, disqualification, whatever. But we gonna check out 10 wrestlers who gave it away. Let's get it.
Certain wrestlers have a reputation for giving away their match finish before the bell has even rung. When examining a wrestler's facial expressions and body language, it's sometimes easy to work out how they're feeling. It's not uncommon if a wrestler looks moody or upset, it indicates that they're gonna lose. However, if the wrestler is overjoyed with emotion, it often means that they're gonna pick up a huge win and sometimes even win a title. Join us.
But if you're professional enough, I feel like, and that's another thing I kind of look at a lot of the times, like championship matches. I could look at WrestleMania 39 as a good example. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Looking at Cody Rhodes, you could kind of look at his face and be like, he doesn't seem as excited because, you would think that, oh, this is the story is going to end. He's going to win the title. Cody Rhodes kind of, he kind of kept a straight face. He kind of kept his poker face in a way. You couldn't really tell if, he was trying to hold in excitement or if he was like genuinely kind of like, come on, like, thought I was going to win tonight, but now I got to go through this 30-minute match and not even win.
Now as WrestleMania looks at 10 wrestlers who gave away their finish to their match in plain sight. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, WrestleMania Shorts. Number 10, Liv Morgan at Money in the Bank 2022. Money in the Bank 2022 was a huge night for popular star Liv Morgan. She was going to win the women's Money in the Bank ladder match and cash in on Ronda Rousey on the same night. Upon watching her entrance, it's clear that Morgan was overcome with emotion and struggled to keep it together. Morgan would look like she was about to burst into tears at any moment, and at certain points during her entrance, she had to pause to take deep breaths. Fans on social media were quick to notice this reaction, and they quickly realized that Morgan was in fact gonna win the match. When this reaction is compared to how Morgan normally reacts during her entrance, they're two completely different reactions.
And can you blame her though? How would you feel for so many years you've been just sitting back and catering, the Riot Squad thing, your friends getting released, and you're the last one left, you fighting for TV time, and then they tell you, I don't know when they told her, but they tell you you're going to win Money in the Bank tonight and you're going to win the women's championship tonight. You're going to get a little I know me, I'll be, kind of a little pressure in a way.
Number 9, Drew McIntyre, WrestleMania 36. Drew McIntyre finally reached the top of the WWE ladder at WrestleMania 36. McIntyre would defeat Brock Lesnar in the main event of Night 2 of the show to become WWE Champion for the first time in his career. Whilst 99% of fans expected McIntyre to defeat Lesnar at WrestleMania, when McIntyre made his entrance, his facial expressions made it crystal clear that he was going to win. McIntyre looked confident and happy, but there was a sense of nervousness there as McIntyre evidently realized just how huge this moment was going to be. The interesting thing about McIntyre's reaction was that WrestleMania 36 took place in front of 0 fans. This was due to the
pre-recorded, I think WrestleMania 36 was pre-recorded, right? It was pre-recorded and no fans.
COVID-19 pandemic, so if his main event match with Lesnar had taken place in front of 70,000 people, the chances are that his reaction would have been even more of a huge giveaway of his upcoming victory.
And just imagine though, this goes to show again just the passion that Drew McIntyre has for the industry. Even in front of a crowd of 0 fans, on the stage at WrestleMania, knowing that you could have just main evented in front of 70 or 80,000 plus, your main event in front of 0. But you still have those jitters. You still have, the obligation to fulfill, and you are still achieving, one of your lifelong dreams of becoming WWE champion. So, that goes to show, because a lot of people, they could have just went in let me just get this over with, like the Goldberg situation. Let me just get this over with. but Drew McIntyre still had that.
Number 8. Ric Flair's attire. Ric Flair is one of the most legendary wrestlers of all time, but whenever Flair wore red trunks for his match, it was a clear sign that he was gonna lose. Flair wearing red was rare, but no matter who he was facing when sporting the red attire, he was always gonna come up short in the respective matchup.
Coincidence?
Some notable examples of these include Flair's WWE title match with Macho Man Randy Savage at WrestleMania 8, Flair's match with Brock Lesnar on Raw in 2002, and his WWE title match with Bret Hart in 1992. Number 7.
That gotta be like coincidence, man. He had to warn it many more times when he won. There's no way. I mean, and Flair has so many matches, it'll be impossible. Well, it wouldn't be impossible, but it'll take a long time to kind of be okay. Every single time he wore red, he lost. I don't know.
Naomi SummerSlam 2017. In 2017, WWE gave Naomi a SmackDown Women's title reign that was a total dud. While this wasn't a fault of Naomi, as WWE just never had any interest in featuring her in a meaningful manner. Her reign lasted from WrestleMania 33 to SummerSlam 2017. During that time, she only received 2 title defenses on pay-per-view, and one of them was a match against Lana. When Naomi made her entrance to face Natalya at the SummerSlam pay-per-view, something felt off. Naomi's enthusiasm simply wasn't there, and it looked like she was offering a fake smile to the audience. Her upcoming loss was apparent when she kept looking at her title over and over, and she was noticeably touching it as if it was the last time she was ever going to hold it. Number 6.
That's another thing I noticed too, when the defending champion touches the championship, or they kind of look at it a little too long. It's kind of like it's about over.
James Storm at Impact 2011. It's not just WWE wrestlers who give away their match finishes, as TNA and Impact legend James Storm received a somewhat negative reputation for giving away his match finishes. Fans as well as other wrestlers have noticed that whenever Storm is about to lose a match, he looks completely distraught and he always delivers a lackluster entrance. For evidence of there's no better example than when Storm lost the TNA World title to Bobby Roode on Impact in 2011. Storm, despite being world champion, makes his entrance as if he would rather be anywhere else in the world, and it's therefore made obvious that Storm is dropping the title. According to Eric Bischoff on his podcast, Storm had a problem with putting over other talent, and he would often express this emotion by putting on a boo-boo face whenever making his entrance. Number 5. Nikki Ash at SummerSlam 2021. Losing a title in WWE can be a difficult thing to process, and for Nikki Ash, she struggled to maintain her emotion at the 2021 SummerSlam event. Nikki was about to drop her Raw Women's title in a match that also featured Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, and Nikki's entrance was genuinely emotional. While she was putting on a brave face, there was a sense of sadness in her body language, and when she handed the women's title over to the referee, she had one last look at the title as if she was saying goodbye to a championship that she worked her entire career to attain.
Why is it making this like so sad?
As if she was, and when she handed the women's title over to the referee, she had
just that, come on now. It's a normal human reaction. Like, these are professional men and women, but imagine something that you, as a little lad, she probably had that dream of getting that championship, becoming a women's champion, seeing her idols hold that, a variation of that title. It's like, knowing that you might not ever make it back to this point again.
One last look at the title as if she was saying goodbye to a championship that she worked her entire career to attain. Number 4. Mandy Rose, NXT TV 2022. One of the biggest news stories of 2022 revolved around Mandy Rose's WWE departure. Rose had been NXT Women's Champion for 413 days, but due to content on her fan time page, she was being forced to drop the women's title, and she would be subsequently released from a WWE contract. Rose would defend her women's title against Roxanne Perez, and the reaction from both women during their entrances was a clear indicator that Rose was dropping the title. Perez was overcome with happiness during her entrance, whilst Rose looked noticeably furious over what had transpired. It was likely that she didn't have an issue with dropping the title to Perez, it was simply a case of Rose taking issue with how WWE handled the situation.
I think, the whole Mandy Rose thing, I don't know, man. They built her up so much. Her character was literally revamped in NXT, and I keep up with NXT. In fact, I'm watching NXT tonight. In 2 hours, I'm watching NXT at the time of this recording. But, I keep up with NXT, and Mandy Rose, I say it hasn't been done since Asuka and, Ember Moon, but that NXT Women's Championship, the importance was brought back to that, and it also helped Mandy Rose's character. So for her to go out like that, You know, I don't blame her for being mad. I would be mad too. I would definitely be mad too, man. But especially since she brought so much more validation to like the new era of the NXT women's division. You know, this wasn't the black and gold NXT anymore. This wasn't, we getting talent from overseas now, or other prominent wrestling promotions. Like, Mandy Rose took that and she turned it to gold.
Number 3, Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania 39. That seemed like
Didn't I just say this?
Certainty that Cody Rhodes would finish the story at WrestleMania 39. Rhodes would collide with Roman Reigns in the main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania, and fans fully expected Rhodes to walk out of WrestleMania as the new undisputed WWE champion. Unfortunately, when Rhodes made his entrance, fans were quick to notice how Rhodes wasn't his usual joyous self. Rhodes had a defeated look on his face, and it was apparent that Rhodes was incredibly disappointed with the fact that he was set to lose the biggest match of his entire career. This disappointment was also apparent in backstage photos from WrestleMania, as Rhodes looked noticeably dejected.
And the crazy thing with the Cody Rhodes, I was hearing that they never had a plan for him to win at WrestleMania. So he did this whole build-up of winning the Royal Rumble, of all these promos that he had to really carry with just himself and Paul Heyman. The promos against Roman Reigns, like, he had to really carry that and make it believable, like he actually had the chance to do it. But in reality, they probably told him, like, look, we don't have any plans to put that title on you anytime soon. Imagine that, though. This is the first time you ever main event WrestleMania. You win your first ever Royal Rumble. You come back from injury. You put in the hard work of rehab. Like, of course, when the match gets there, it's great. You main event WrestleMania. Dusty's proud of you. Your family's proud of you. Your friends, your kids, your wife. But it's like, just that moment, knowing that you won't have that moment.
Also apparent in backstage photos from WrestleMania, as Rhodes looked noticeably dejected. Number 2, Goldberg Armageddon 2003.
Yeah.
Goldberg's inaugural run in WWE failed to live up to expectations. Their version of Goldberg ultimately wasn't unable to capture the same magic in which WCW captured with his character, and Goldberg left WWE in 2004 feeling extreme anger and bitterness in relation to how his run went. Now, although the run wasn't the best, Goldberg did have a 3-month reign as world champion on the Raw brand, and when Goldberg eventually dropped the world title to Triple H at the 2003 Armageddon pay-per-view, his facial expressions during his entrance told the whole story. Goldberg would
I had this pay-per-view on DVD.
Defend his world title against The Game and Kane in a triple threat match, and when he made his entrance, he looked completely fed up, and he looked like he would rather be anywhere else. It was also reported that Goldberg had a temper tantrum backstage following the match, and this was enough evidence to rule that Goldberg won it out. And number
I mean, and with good reasoning. 2003, the catastrophe that happened with Booker T, it was like, they thought WWE had something against former WCW wrestlers, and Triple H was already world champion. He started 2003 as world champion. He's been world champion. Losing it to Goldberg at Unforgiven. It was Unforgiven 03. Just for Triple H to win it back 3 months later was just crazy. Is what it is, but
following the match, and this was enough evidence to rule that Goldberg won it out. And number 1, Sasha Banks, WrestleMania 35. WrestleMania 35 was supposed to be a special moment for Sasha Banks. She walked into WrestleMania as one half of the women's tag team champions, and along with Bayley, she would defend those titles in a fatal 4-way matchup. But going into the match, fans were seemingly in a universal agreement that Banks and Bayley needed to retain. The titles themselves were only 40 days old, and they needed credibility, and Banks and Bayley were the ones for the job. However, WWE had other ideas. They wanted Banks and Bayley to lose to the Iconics, and Banks knew that this was a terrible idea. Upon rewatching her entrance on the grandest stage, it's crystal clear that Banks is angry and disconnected. Bayley seems relatively normal, but Banks shows no enthusiasm or passion during her entrance. She was so furious with this decision that she wanted to quit the company, and she would even ask for her release. This request was denied, and she was instead granted time off to reflect and reevaluate her wrestling career. But there you have it, folks. 10 wrestlers.
And honestly, the women's tag team championships, they're kind of getting on the right direction right now. If y'all watch my MANIACI Games, MANIACI Gaming channel, the MANIACI Games channel, on my Universe mode, I actually got rid of the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships morphed them together with the women's tag team title. So they kind of getting it together, now. But the women's tag team championships, bro, they have had the worst of luck since inception, And I feel like it could have all been avoided had they just kept Bayley and Sasha as the champions for WrestleMania 35. It would have definitely probably changed the timeline of, Sasha going over to other companies to wrestle. I don't know, man. But 10 WWE wrestlers who instantly gave away their match finish before the bell rang. Very interesting video. Link down below in the description for y'all to check it out in its entirety with no interruptions. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for me for more wrestling related content. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Thank you for watching MKE MANIACI. I'm out.